Should a woman live through pain for a partner or spouse to grow? Should a woman sacrifice her health and peace for a lover who does not reciprocate same over the years? At what point should a woman walk away from an abusive relationship? The topic is, when should a woman walk out from an abusive marriage? A super tough questions we need to tackle with tough gloves in hands. Oh yes, our goal is to create a safe space to discuss this issue and offer some help to those who need it. Join me to dig deeper and crack this super tough question with fellow phenomenal women in the house. Thank you. I'm glad to have you on One Voice, Many Women show. May I meet you?
It's Lucy. It's good to be here.
Thank you.
My name is Tenny, and I'm pleased to be here.
Thank you so much. First question first is, how do you view abuse? What exactly is abuse in the context of our topic?
Okay, for me, abuse is using everything within your power to bring down a person. In this context, your wife could be, sometimes could be the husband, though in our side of the world we kind of talk more about the women, but it's okay that we know that some men too are going through abuses, and these abuses does not necessarily mean physical abuse alone. We have emotional abuse, we have mental abuse. This is where somebody is using their power, their status to always pull somebody down, to always make somebody go through all the negative energy a person should not go through. That's what abuse is for me.
And capitalizing on that person's vulnerability.
Yes.
Vulnerability,
Age, power,
the title of I'm a wife. You are the husband, you must see me as the lion of the tribe of the family.
Exactly.
All right, I love that definition. Down to earth. Thanks a lot. Something on that.
Law on the people around you, maybe your partner, it could be your children, it could be the children at times. You know, even when it does not go well with them, you just have to enforce it on them. It has to be what I want. It has to be that's your own decision, your own desire. And it goes a long way to devastate the people that you have around you, or the subject that is being the recipient, you know. So that's my own abuse.
That's very wonderful to hear. Thank you so much. And there are some myths about abuse. For example, most men believe that women are babies. And so when they do something wrong, you need to spank them, you need to beat them. So they don't see beating a woman or emotional violence that they mete out to a woman as wrong. They will be like, after all, she's my wife. So what are these myths? You understand that most men, or whatever mentality you think men have, that make them go to that extent of violating a woman's rights and emotional stability. Okay.
One of those things is the fact that, especially from states that require high bride price, some men see it as, oh, I have paid for you, I own you, like I paid this so amount of money over you, so you are my property, I can do whatever I want with you. You know, like I can reprimand you because I have paid. I can treat you anyhow because you are a property, you are not a person. So that is one of those things. Like they have this thing in their head that because they pay the high price over a woman's bride price, the woman has become theirs to do with whatever they want to do.
So pathetic. Can you imagine?
Yes.
And some men, right from when they were young, from when they were boys, the parents tend to train them to be like, you are the overall 100%, 1,000% boss in the home. As if that's the only place that you can actually exercise your authority. And they don't, even between the boy in the house and the girls, no matter how old the girls are to the boy, you know they still make the girls submit and do everything for the boy, so that the boy thinks that it's a woman's world. And so when that boy grows with that mentality, he doesn't see the woman or the wife as anything, as a matter. You know, matter is anything that occupies space.
Yeah, I was going to say that because I don't know what you feel like as a man to want to abuse your wife or your spouse. Is it ego or inferiority complex?
Sometimes
maybe he's feeling less of himself.
Maybe
he's a coward.
Yeah.
Everything in the destination.
He's probably a coward. He's not full of himself. You know, he's not so sure of himself. To pull out your hand and to hit a woman. What are you feeling like? What's upbringing is that would, you know? Most times I feel like the person would have to visit a psychiatric house, because many a times they are not okay.
Yeah,
mentally. Yes. In fact, it's not even many a times. Those people who abuse,
the perpetrators of abuse,
they are not okay. That's it. They are not mentally stable. You cannot be mentally stable and you raise your hand, hitting it on a woman. You feel like what could be the reason? Whatever the reason, that should not be a room to, you know, a room or a place for you to exert your peaceful attitude. It's not done. It's uncalled for.
The most important one for me is upbringing. What has been going on in the house the child is going on from. It's one of the major things that triggers a man to want to beat their wife, because my father used to do it. It is a norm. There is a family I know. I told a friend recently that if I know a child later in the future that one of the boys will want to marry, I will not allow it, because of virtue of what I have seen going on in the home, and now I have seen the children react to the situations at home. Those kids cannot grow up. It's the grace of God for them to grow up and not see beating their spouses as norm, because they've already been conditioned in that way.
They think it's a normal thing.
And then there's still this other thing that parents do, just like you mentioned, that you condition the children at home. Like I have boys, I have girls. What my boy, in fact, today is my boy's turn to wash plates. The next day is my girl's turn to wash plates. They see everything as you do your own, I do my own. There is no lording it over anybody in the house, because these things, they will grow into it and bring it to another person's child. And then we are in a setting that people have trained girls to be submissive, and then we are now training boys to be lording it over. You understand? Like automatically we are putting the girl in a very in a position that she's taught to submit, and we are teaching the boys to lord. So when you bring the one that you've taught to submit and the one you've taught to lord together, it will be a lord and a servant situation. And then if this one is already used to violence, not just physical violence now, talking anyhow to somebody because that is what is going on at home, you know, talking down to anybody because that is how my dad used to do it, or that is how my mom used to do it. Because I am someone that will always say that this gender this violence we are talking about is not gender based. It's just like more, we speak more to support the women. But if I know of someone growing up that the wife used to like I'm not going to go into the, but it happens like that. So if a girl child has grown in that home that the mother is always lording it over the father, she will have that mentality. It will take the grace of God. It will take a whole lot of self intention and things to like, okay, I want to grow out of this thing. So upbringing, and as I keep saying that for now, the kind of men we will be raising in the future. The work is on us who are parents right now. Because whatever husbands that are beating their wives out there today is the work of their mothers, their fathers. The works of the home they are going for, the works of the society. Even if a child is not in the house, they are not beating themselves in that house. and the child is living in a community where she is seeing somebody and
Yeah,
people are celebrating,
no.
I beat your life yesterday, the wife, you understand, he will still pick that attitude, he will still pick that. So it's a lot of upbringing, it's a lot of character traits that children have picked from outside. That's what keeps them, as they are growing, they are seeing things as is normal now. If you talk anyhow, I beat you. And these traits, you start seeing them from when they were children. How is he talking to his sister?
That is it.
How is he talking to his classmates?
That is
How
it.
is he talking to even you as a man? Yes, some children will say something to their parents and just leave him, he's a child. He's not a child of my sisters. He's already exhibiting.
Yes.
So if you don't pick up that character from them, that time they'll begin to see it as a normal thing.
Yeah.
And then they'll go to this men we are talking about now that are violating their wives, that are abusing their wives in whatever forms. We have a lot of work. God will help us.
The next question is, if you take a survey of 100 women and you ask them, what is it that is making you stay, in marriage and all of that, or have you ever thought of leaving your marriage before? I can bet you that about 70% of the women out of 100 will tell you they once had either the feelings or the actual action of backing out from their marriages. So the question is, what do you think makes women stay put in their marriages, no matter the challenges they face?
Well, actually, for me, I feel what should make a woman stay put in marriage is, first of all, purpose. Marriage is a call. Marriage is a calling. So for so many people that maybe wanted to leave their marriage because of one challenge or the other, I don't know what it is that made them stay back. It differs for individuals. Different individuals, they have many reasons why they are choosing to stay back.
It could be children.
It
could be I don't have anywhere to go.
But if I am asked why a woman should stay back, it should be because of purpose. It should be that you know the reason why you are married in the first place.
In the first place.
To that man. You know what it is that you probably have seen him do, or what you know, or where he's going, rather, and you are willing to join him in that journey. And so, when challenges arises, you remember this man has a future. There's a place he's going. There's something you have seen about him that made you in the first place come into the
that
marriage.
Gave back conviction.
Yes, and there's something about you too that complements him. And something that also complements in him, that complements you, that makes you know and gives you the feeling that yes, both of you are going to make a beautiful home from this marriage journey. So purpose should be one thing that keeps you in marriage. You discover that a lot of people that left marriage, probably they don't know what their purpose is. Many people, and because of the upbringing, the training, the coaching that some people had while growing up, they believe that they can come into marriage and once things are not just going on well, they can just leave.
No, I don't think I can tolerate this anymore. I'm leaving.
Yes.
I've had it up to. Yeah.
Even when the marriage, there's nothing like abusive.
Yeah.
Even when there's no abusive threats or anything like that, there maybe just little challenges, that they cannot just take.
Now let's look at this scenario. There are challenges.
Yes.
There are challenges. Now, but there's this cogent point. You look at all the challenges and you decide to stay. What do you think will make a woman stay? There are challenges.
Of course, there are challenges in marriage. Even the Bible says we will face tribulations, challenges in life.
Not only in marriage,
So,
in life.
We should be of good cheer, for he has overcome the world. So I feel like what should make you stay with all the challenge is God's word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. remember I said you are not being abused in that marriage. So challenges is one thing that cannot be ruled out of life. It is bound to stay. It's bound to happen. So if you feel like because you are being challenged in court, and so you want to leave that marriage for that reason, my dear, the next phase of life you are getting into, there are still challenges there. Even if you're not going to be married in that phase, as long as you are moving on to the next phase of life, you are not dead, you are not dying. There's going to be challenges. So I think one thing that keeps us going, or that makes you stay back, is you have had God. So I want to believe that you are staying back because one, you have had God say stay, and secondly,
it up to the purpose.
Yes, and secondly, there's a purpose in the first place.
Yeah.
There's a purpose in the first place that made you marry the man, your spouse. Yes, and that is what we get to miss a lot of time. A lot of time we don't have purpose marrying that person. Maybe the only purpose
Except I just want to get married, I'm getting older, my friends are married, I also want to have children, I love kids.
Exactly, or maybe because the man is tall,
yeah,
maybe he's rich,
he
has some
I need a man, six packs.
So those are not reasons, those are not the purpose you should watch out.
What category of abuse do you think a woman can face that will make her walk out, that will make you tell her, oh my God?
I want to say any form of abuse, because why? Normally I would have said okay, physical abuse, because that is when it can beat you, you can anything can happen, it can cause you damages and all of that. But I've come to realize over time that there are some kind of abuses that gets to you more than physical abuse. There are some kind of trauma you go through. There are some kind of different situations you go through that will end up worse than what physical abuse will do to the body. Most times we care about the body, but the kind of things the mind is going through.
But then even the emotional trauma also leave negative effects on the body.
But then because it's not it is start from the body first. We do not take notice, we do not pay attention. You understand? There are people, one time I was reading and I read that this cancer, everywhere now is cancer. But when the most times it's not even body related. It is from the mind. When a woman is sad, when you are not forgiving, when you are going through depressing moment, that's when those things begin to happen. So I don't feel like there's this particular kind of abuse that is more than the others. In fact, I feel the ones that we cannot see, it's easy for a woman, you see a woman that is beaten, you know that this person is being beaten, and everybody is saying, okay, you can leave, come to my place and come and rest, you understand? But that one that is more dangerous is the one where the woman have just gone through a whole lot and she's coming out of her bedroom smiling.
If you're enjoying us up until now, please don't forget to show love by subscribing, liking our videos, and also sharing it to loved ones. And please, we really want to see your comments down the comment section. That is taking me to our question. What are these challenges that, let me take pastor's wives. I am one, let's go. Because I really want us to streamline our discussion to a particular case study. And why I would like us to focus on pastor's wife is that one, it's this, any woman can just come out and say I'm not doing it again and walk away, and nobody will frown, nobody will be like she's spoiling anything that much. And if she tells her story, they will it will resonate with others. But for a pastor's wife to do that, now the reason why I would is I do not want to mention him, but there's a woman, let me take this, there's a woman whose husband came up, the husband came up first, very trendy, January, February and all of that, very trendy. And the husband said she became, according to the husband's testimony, indirectly saying he became randy with women because the wife committed adultery. He caught his wife hands down, committing adultery with another man. And so that triggered something in him. Even though he was the pastor and a GO. And everybody was like, what? Why should that make you as a pastor? You understand? But I'm not going into that. But then, what struck me in that testimony is this. The wife came up to defend herself, that it was never so. Because while she was giving birth to her first son, their first child, another woman was also giving birth to another child. So if it were because of adultery that she committed, how come that he was already, you understand, already having a child from another woman? They gave birth almost the same month, the same time. You understand? So the wife came to debunk that, and she walked out. She told her story, how she had to leave. So the point is, what challenge should make a pastor's wife walk out of an abusive relationship?
All right, thank you, Mom, for this question. Well, first and foremost, I believe that a pastor's wife is first a woman.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you and I.
Okay.
And there's a reason, I mean, there's something about women that makes us who we are. When God was creating us, or when God created us, He attached a purpose to us.
Okay.
He created us for a reason. He said that the man will not be alone, that the man will be helpmate, that the woman will be helpmate to the man. And so now, when we are now bringing out the context of challenges of pastor's wife and all, so I had to like ask some questions, like, are there particular challenges that wives of pastors face
That other women
that
do
other
not
women
face?
do not face? So, and I got quite few answers, but I'm going to pick the answer that I feel is general, is peculiar to all of them, all of the pastors' wives, in quotes. Yes, because from the answers I got from different individuals, their responses were different. The way it is, the way the challenges are with this pastor's wife is not the same way with the other pastor's wife. Individual differences sometimes and all that, but there is one particular answer of it all that I feel is peculiar to all, that seem to be the same challenge that they are all facing, and that is the answer is that the pastors tend to hold fast to the congregation
More than their wives.
That's the problem. Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
And when I went back to the scripture to check, what I saw was, and the man will leave the father and the mother and hold fast
To his wife.
Hold
to
fast
his
to the
wife, or cleave to his wife. That
Yes.
hold fast is the same thing as cleave to his wife.
Yeah.
Now, when you are beginning to leave
Your wife.
your wife to cleave to the congregation, and God cannot be mocked.
Yes.
You know that He said you have to hold fast to something.
Yes.
Initially, it was your parents you were holding fast to.
Yes.
Your mother and your father.
Yes.
They meant many things to you. You couldn't do anything at some point without them. But as time progressed, the Lord said, you will leave your father and mother and cleave to your wife. It means as you are leaving them, you are cleaving to another thing.
It's like spiritually, physically, a man is not supposed to be alone. Remember the first statement that God made, that it's not good for the man to be alone. Now, so from birth, the man cleaves according to you. I'm just learning this guy. The man cleaves
To the
parents.
parents.
Now, at the mature age of his life, he is to cleave to somebody else closer than that, and that should be the wife, not congregation, not friends,
Not
not
ministry.
work, not even the work that God asked him to do in the garden, but to your wife.
Yes.
There's a reason. Please
Yes.
complete.
Thank you, ma'am. So you see, by the time you are cleaving onto, you are no longer cleaving to the wife, you are cleaving to congregation. The wife would begin to feel lonely,
Left out.
she would begin to feel left out, she would feel like her matter does not matter.
Thank
she's
you.
not-
Because
you
she's
understand
first
this
of
is-
all a human
Yes,
being.
because she's first of all a human being, a woman at that needs affection.
And hold on, you know, and most times these men have not started out in ministry yet. It is along the line, along the marriage, that they say, oh, I've received a call.
Calling.
Along the marriage that the congregation become big, even if they have started out, but you know, small congregation, the wife will be the chorister, the wife will be the usher, the wife will, so they have a lot to discuss when they get home. But suddenly congregation has become so large that he now asks the elders this, the deacon board, the this, and so communication in the house dwindles.
For me, I feel like that they have not started before they got married. They got into it along the line of their marriage.
Yeah.
Should be the more reason why
They should do the ministry together.
the man should be more. They should be more dedicated. The man should be more dedicated to that woman, because before the ministry started, it was her.
It was that.
And secondly, I feel like it is even at that point that the man should be more responsible, because Jesus did this for us. There's a prototype here.
Yeah.
Jesus, when he came to the world, in fact, even the Bible says that he would go after the one sheep
That is lost.
that is lost. Do you know that if a pastor successfully packs all his congregation to heaven and does not get his wife into the heaven, he failed in the ministry? Because except unless that the wife now is maybe the other side of the story, that does not want to, there is no way he had tried, he had done all of that. But yes, but we will still get to that. But we are talking about the challenges here now that the wife is facing. Now the wife, so now by the time the pastor here leaves the wife and focuses on the congregation. In fact, from the things that I heard that many times they will go on missionary walk, leaving the house, and then by the time they return, they are supposed to fill in that gap, like they are supposed to make it up to the wife. We understand that, yes, you are supposed to, of course, God has called you into this walk, yes, but there's a room for balancing it. You don't leave it, you don't give it an unbalanced shape, or how do I put it now? So you make it, the Lord will help you and help you in such a way that you balance it up. As you are serving his people here, you are serving the primary assignment he has given it to you, which is your family, your home.
We were talking about myths, about abuses and all of that. Do you know many pastors, many men, let me start from being men first. Many men who want to go into ministry, already in ministry, just believe that their wives, they want to marry good wives, and that the good wife, the good quality they are looking for is the wife that can be at home and not feel their not feel loneliness, don't feel their presence, that their absence. Don't just be contented with being the pastor's wife. Sit at home, take care of the children. This is a myth. They've forgotten that this woman has her own expectation for marrying the man. They a good wife to them is a wife that can trash her vision, trash expectations, trash everything, and just be taking care of the woman and of the children, and not miss him at all until he comes. That is why I pity the pastor's wife.
Well, I also think that most of these men forget that they are not marrying angels who fell from heaven. That they are marrying girls that transitioned to ladies, that transitioned to a woman. And during that transitions, there are expectations, just like you have mentioned. I, for one, I like physical attention. I, for one, I want my husband to be around. I want somebody that I want to lay down to rest my head on your shoulder. I want somebody that I have something going on with me. I want to be able to talk to you about it. But then because you are a pastor, you want me to all of a sudden die all those things I'm feeling. It's not, even if he's going to die, it's not a one-day thing. It's not even something
It
that
can't
can
even
even
be-
go.
they
You
shouldn't
cannot
be there
go.
for life.
Because I'm
There
still
shouldn't be a
first.
Yes, it
Before I
shouldn't
am
be
your
there for
wife,
life.
before I am your wife, I am a woman that have needs. I have feelings.
Exactly.
I have blood flowing in my
Yes,
system.
yes.
I want to be touched when I want to be touched.
Yes.
I want to feel, oh my husband, I need your attention right now, and you are giving me that your attention as much as I'm doing my own part. Now you can't cut that all of that off
entirely
me
for life.
and still expect me to be there at your beck and call, to leave my own calling and come out. And one thing I do not like so much about this situation is the fact that, like most churches now, there is service on Monday, there is meeting on Tuesday, there is program on Wednesday, on Thursday we are doing clinical fasting, on Saturday there are rehearsals and meetings
On
and
holidays.
and then on Sundays
Yes,
we are in church from morning 6 a.m. till 7 p.m. Where is my time as your wife? And then when I want to try to tell you that, okay, we've not had time together, you want to, can you not see that I am busy?
Yes.
Can you not see I was in a meeting? Can you not see I'm having meeting with God? And I think, because I've got to realize that God values marriage very well.
Yes,
Very
it
well.
does.
And relationships.
I think that if you have meeting with God and you tell God, I want to go and attend to my wife, I think God will give you go ahead to go and see your wife.